Positivity is when one is in a happy frame of mind, when one's able to look at the goodness in life, when one's able to feel the goodness in life. Positivity can mean so many different things to so many different people. It's all dependent on your own perspective. I think positivity can be a bit of a misnomer. These days there's so much information on positivity and people are feeling very pressurized to feel positive. And it's not always attainable. If you're not feeling positive because of certain life circumstances, you're just not going to feel positive. Whether you've lost a significant other, you've gotten divorced, you've lost your job, no amount of self-help and positivity in the world is going to make you feel better. Obviously, if we're happy and we're feeling positive, our whole life is better. We feel that there's more flow, we're better able to engage with other people, we excel at the things we do, we generate positivity, other people bounce back off us. And in general, we tend to have much better life experiences when we're positive. Well, when it's forced positivity, that's very pressurized. And I do think that there's a whole lot of emphasis these days on maintaining a positive facade. And that's actually just what it is. It's a facade. It doesn't feel real because it's all this learned behavior that you're trying to maintain positivity and it doesn't feel authentic. However, having said that, there is a school of thought called positive psychology, which was developed by Martin Seligman. And positive psychology can be a learned behavior. So we can teach ourselves to be positive. Forced positivity would be when you are believing that you have to be positive under all conditions and circumstances. So for example, you've just gotten divorced, or you've just lost a parent or a child, or you've just lost your job, and you're forcing yourself to be positive. Therefore, you aren't allowing yourself to go through the natural processes of grieving, mourning, depression, and sadness. There are a number of things that one can do to attain positivity. First of all, looking at your hobbies. When you engage in a hobby that takes up your entire focus, there is an enormous amount of engagement, and in that engagement there is something called flow. And when we are in flow, we are solely concentrated on that activity, and it's almost like we're in a state of bliss. And this would be what I would suggest to clients to do, is to find that flow. And when you find that flow, everything else around you just fades away, and you have a moment of intense, or some hours of intense concentration. And that can generate an enormous amount of positivity. It is an important thing to do, is to surround yourself with positive people and positive things. However, I want people to remain cognizant of the fact that if they are feeling sad or if they are feeling miserable, there is a place and there is a time for it. But when you've had enough of that and you feel that it's run its course, then go out and seek those people who fill you with positivity, or do positive actions that are going to fill and nurture your soul. Acts of kindness and generosity and acts of service are wonderful things to do to generate positivity, because in turn those remind us to practice gratitude. And also, helping others is the most magnificent way of being able to give back and to give to yourself. I think what's really important is for people to understand the concept of gratitude. So often we tend to focus on what we don't have and what is wrong with us, versus some of the strengths and traits that we do have that work effectively for us. We tend to neglect that. We tend to not look at the good stuff that we have going for us. What I tend to do is both flow activities, which is I enjoy painting, so I immerse myself in painting. And the second thing is I really take cognizance of my strengths. And by validating my strengths, I find that it plays an enormous part in improving my levels of positivity. It's part of the human condition that we are sad, that we experience negative emotions, that we experience the ups and downs of life. And I think it's really important to be conscious of that. Otherwise, we place too much emphasis on being completely happy 24/7, and it's absolutely impossible. You can't be. And that's where the pressure comes in, to think, I've got to be happy all the time. I've got to put on a good face. Sometimes you're sad and it's relevant. When you're positive, the whole world is a different place. It's much sunnier, it's much lighter, your engagement with others is better, your self-confidence, your esteem. Basically, you feel on top of the world when you feel positive.